right. Let's see here. Oh, man. Oh, man. What's up, everybody? Hola, what's up? Basketball isn't fun right now? What's up? What's good, clan? What's up? Saw someone recommend the movie 12 Monkeys the other day without mentioning the movie is based on La Jetée. Mind-blowing French short film. Top 10 for me. Never seen it. So when did we talk about flag? Okay, so this game, do we even really want to talk about it? I mean, I guess we can just briefly go over. Let's see, when's the next time the Spurs play? That's a good question. Sunday? Spurs play on Sunday. Next game is on Sunday, and then they play on Tuesday. Okay. So, are you sure we're fine? Oh, they're fine. Yeah, the Spurs are going to be 500. Like, but I think we all should give up on the playoffs type deal, right? But yeah, they're going to be 500. My Kings are having a terrible game. Sorry, man. Keep in mind, guys, the Pistons aren't the same Pistons of last year. They are better. 30 and 20. They're 30 and 26 now. That's not like the best record in the world, but it's better than ours. They are better than us. And on top of it, we just didn't have a center. Like, all right, I do have a complaint. How should we go about this? So the Spurs playing on Sunday. Let's see. Well, I don't even know if there's not many segments to go over. I guess I'll just talk to you guys about
Rookie
this.
of the year and intergalactic talent.
I gotta. There we go. Thanks for a super chat. I gotta figure that out because I gotta stop that from doing that. Thank you for the super chat, though. Listen, clan, it's time. It's time to revoke Mitch Johnson, U.S. citizenship, and deport him to China. Honestly, yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can change my alert box real quick. I tried this already, but I don't know why. It says no sound, but dude, it's like literally playing. So that was a super chat. Alert duration. Like, it literally has sound volume on. Hold on. I don't know why it does that. I have no idea how I'm supposed to fix that. Well, I guess I do have something in mind. You know what? I'm gonna revert it back for a second. Super chat. Let's change it. I need to make it a GIF. That's what it is. I need to make it a GIF. All right, let's make it a GIF. We'll make it a GIF real quick. Hey, we missed you out there. Pop returning next season, guys. He told me. Thanks for letting us know, man. How's the clock, Victor? The only Spurs players played good tonight were Fox and, wait for it, Keldon. You guys are gonna. I know. I'm a hater. Don't fall for the Keldon stuff, man. Keldon is really good at getting to the paint until he isn't. Okay? He's very good at getting to the paint until he isn't. Until the team hones in on it and stops it. He plays hard. He plays with the utmost energy, and if the other team isn't playing with the same amount, he can get you off guard. But he did well. But at the same time, just the way he plays, I don't think is conducive to winning. He has massive tunnel vision. In this game, it pans out. But that's the thing about Keldon. It's just whether or not it's going to pan out. And most games, when it does pan out, it won't pan out late in games if it's close. It's just not going to pan out. And that's just how he plays. He just gets into your paint. Gets into your chest over and over and over until the team adjusts, and then he keeps doing the same thing. Lost to the Pistons. Well, the Pistons they're better than us. They're above 500 team, so. No, shut up, Jedi. I haven't watched it yet. I gotta catch up. Nah, Goku snapped. I gotta catch up. I'm tired of Vassell, man. Did he get benched? I was very confused. I don't quite understand Mitch Johnson with this. All right, hold on. Let me change the media. All right. Finally, we can do what we want to do here. All right. So we got the GIF. Let's upload the GIF. It's uploading, guys. Especially when they give Dev Castle's minutes. Mitch Johnson is all over the place. Once again, claiming you watch One Piece is the greatest story ever told. I am on episode, I think I just made it to episode 383 today. I think that's where I'm at. It is awesome. It's actually incredible. Alright, so that's a GIF, right? Why is the GIF so expensive? Not expensive. It has so many megabytes to it. That's weird. Alright, let's go ahead and change all these to that. So let's change this one to the GIF as well. We'll change this one. All right, so someone who's not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel right now, and let's see if it works. I got it to no sound, which I actually do want some sound. Let's see, let's change the super chat. All right, cool. Bruh, stop clan. I don't know what you responded to. Hey, I'm excited for you. I'll do it on my other account. Thank you. Yeah, let's see if it works. Just say you want them to sub. I need to make sure this works. And it doesn't do that. Because one of these days I'm gonna get copyright claim for that song that goes with the MP4. I did it. All right, let's see if it pops up. Guess we have to just wait. It's all right. Don't worry about it. It'll happen naturally. We'll see it pop up in one of these times. That's weird. Anyways. Would you rather have Fox or Jaw? Oh, there it is. Cool. It works. Nice. With no sound. Okay. Keldon, my king. Would you rather have Fox or Ja Morant? Like, let's not play around, okay? Ja Morant. If it came down to De'Aaron Fox or Ja Morant, I take Ja Morant. Brunson or Ja Morant. Clay Keldon plays decent when Wemby's not playing. We can't have that. Wemby is our. It's because you have to rely when you have to just rely on Keldon, and you absolutely need points in the paint. He looks fine, right? But like he doesn't play well within a system. Like he plays well when it's just him. When you just need to rely on him, he can turn out okay on certain games, but he doesn't pan out when you're in a system. You know, when you have to play a little smarter, it doesn't pan out. Pay attention to some of the dribble handoffs and some of the screens that he was giving. They were horrible. But when the Spurs said, okay, we're going to give you the ball and you just go to work, he's fine. Especially when you get the Pistons off guard and he just have, one-on-one matchups. The Pistons adjusted late in the game and it didn't make it as easy. But, like, you got it. I'm going to be consistent with this. There's nothing that he's done that makes me think differently of Keldon. He's not good defensively. But games like this, when you're down people, it's the same thing. It's the same reason why everyone thought that Keldon would be a star when he was our main guy and we were tanking and he looked good. Yeah, it's just not. This isn't going to change anything. Maybe this can change how other teams view Keldon, but as far as how the Spurs view him, it has not changed. They're either bought in that Keldon is the guy, or they're going to trade him. Like, there's no in between here. I don't even think it's in between with Devin, honestly. I think they made up their mind on Devin too. Keldon has a good plus minus. No, we need to keep KJ. I think he proved himself. It's 2 games. It's 2 games. And this is the type of environment that Keldon thrives in. When you can just lean on him and, it's not a lot of thought behind it. It's like literally Keldon, go get us a bucket. And he thrives in that type of environment. But for some reason, he stands out like a sore thumb when we're playing well and everything is connecting, and he's kind of the odd man out. And he's not as effective. That's a problem, right? Keldon, because at the end of the day, even if you keep Keldon, he's not going to be the second best player or scoring option. He's not going to be the third scoring option. He may be fourth, probably not. He might end up being like maybe the 5th scoring option. And you have to find a way to fit within a system when you're the 5th option. And Keldon just thrives better when he can just continuously get to the paint and score, or attempt to score, or get to the line, right? Because there's not much else that Keldon does that I think makes up for the, bad tunnel vision at times. I mean, not bad tunnel vision, I'm sorry. That makes up for the defense. There's not much he does well that makes up for that. Agree, Clan, but we can't have him as a 7th option. Yeah, you can't. You can't. Like, it's just not really going to pan out, If Keldon plays well for the rest of the season, we got to keep him. I think CP3 can teach him. I'm going to be honest with you. We cannot, you can't fall for it. Don't fall for it. This is the same thing that people did, our tank season, where they were like, Keldon is the future. Do not fall for it. Yeah, don't fall for it. Keldon is, this doesn't mean Keldon's trash, right? I just don't think he fits with the team. This is what we need from Keldon right now, but this means nothing. Like, the rest of the season means nothing. It's fine that we need that from Keldon right now, right? In these games that aren't really going to mean much. But, we're going to need a different type of Keldon when we have a full team, when we have more talent, when we have Wimby. And honestly, he just doesn't look that good. He just doesn't look that good when Wimby's playing. Just doesn't. KJ, inconsistent on offense, consistently bad on defense, culture, bench guy at best. Yeah, he's a culture guy. Definitely a really good bench guy. He can be a spark plug off the bench at times. If you absolutely, like I said, if you absolutely need a score in the paint, he's fine. You said, I hate Vassell. I hate Vassell. Vassell is better than Keldon. Like, he's way more talented than Keldon Johnson. I think with Devin, it's kind of a weird thing, man. It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't want to argue for. Oh man, let me see. Let's talk about this game a little bit. Devin isn't a Robin. No. Devin. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm noticing a lot of Keldon Johnson hate, which I'm not going to 100% say it's not merited. My camera just went out for a minute. Not going to say 100% is not merited, because I do understand where it's coming from. Well, how should I go about this? First and foremost, this game in particular, don't want to talk too much about it, but Detroit Pistons are a better team than us. We're missing our best player, yada yada yada. Could the Spurs still have won? Maybe, but at the end of the day, they did a very good job of, they just did a good job of evening out who they're going to put on the court, right? They beat us with size, obviously. We had no answer for Jalen Duren. While he is primarily just a rim runner, we just don't have, or we didn't have the size necessary to compete. I was a little frustrated by the end of the game because I was like, wait, Charles Bassey's okay? Like, that was a little irritating. I saw Charles Bassey not that much during this game. So in the course of the game, I was like, oh, he's all right. Like, but we're just not trying to utilize anything. So this game alone, don't really care too much about it. I will say this, though. Still strange starting lineup. Don't quite understand why we're doing this. Just go ahead and start Sohan and start Devin. I just don't quite understand what we're trying to do here. But anyways, very strange. Still has some strange lineups in this game. But the Pistons were just better. Nothing really harp on here. But one thing that people have been focusing in on over the course of the last few games is Devin Vassell. And I completely understand like where it's coming from, right? I'm not as worried about Devin Vassell as a lot of people. I completely see that he's having a down year. Like, it's very apparent that he's having a down year, right? Like, I think he's shooting like 43%, very inconsistent as far as aggression. You never know what you're going to get. He can go, you have this game, which he has 78%, in which he had 25 points, 78%, crazy great numbers there. But then the game right after, he goes 22%, right? Then 33%, 35%, pretty bad month overall. And this, if it wasn't for this 79% game that he had, there's no way his percentages would even touch 40, right? And then you have the month before, and it's also a little bit of inconsistency, but you got 44%, 40%, 35%, jumps up to 50%. That's great. 53%, 54, or 54%, 54%. And at this point, we were like, okay, Devin's back. Got a little janky again. So he's all over the place as far as offensively, right? I do think that Devin is a good passer. I think he has high basketball IQ. I think he's a decent defender. Not a lockdown, not a point of attack defender, but he does really well in the lanes. And if you have other defenders around him, he really shines, right? So I truly do believe in Devin, but maybe the expectations for him are causing people to really get angry about him, right? Like, for instance, his stats. Like I say, he's having a down year. But he's shooting 44% overall, 43.5% that is. But 35% from three isn't terrible, but we know and we've seen him be better than that, right? We've seen him shoot up to 39% 2 years ago from three. We've seen him shoot 47.2% from the field, so close-ish to 50%. So he's not terrible. I just think that a lot of people are looking at his contract and automatically assuming that it's a bad contract, and I don't even think that. I'll be real with you. I think at the end of the day, how I feel is he is by far a player that's going to be more than likely a fourth option. And in my opinion, fourth options can afford to be a little inconsistent, right? If you're a fourth option on a team. So let's see. I was trying to see. It was one stat here. Yeah. So everything has remained the same but the shooting, and I feel like he's going to be inconsistent if you're fourth option. But when you force that player or put that player in a position where they have to be a second option, first option, it's going to look really ugly. Clan, I'm disappointed with Vassell, but you're right, having a down year after last season. I will still have Bonehead Keldon on the team. Then I believe Vassell has earned the right to still keep him. Yeah, I just think that at the end of the day, he's going to be like a fourth option, right? And I take a look at some of the other players in our history, and I don't want to try to compare him to a lot of people, but I want to at least compare him to some of the players currently, in the NBA. And then I want to look at some of the players that the Spurs have had previously, which I think that our expectations are just a little too high. He's not a first option. He's not a second option. And, we're going to have these inconsistencies. But first and foremost, a lot of people bringing up his contract. They're like, hey, he's making $29 million. He's making $30 million. He's not living up to it. And then they would start to compare him to other players around the league, which I think is completely unfair. First off, Devin Vassell, yes, he's making $29 million this year. The Spurs knew that this is a year that probably doesn't mean too much, right? Like with the timeline, it's not going to mean that much. And they made it where it's diminishing, literally diminishing contract. You don't see this too often, in which you'll be making 29, then 27, and then eventually 24. And around this time is when the Spurs are really going to be ramping it up, right? Like we're talking playoff experience, playoff runs. This is when we're really going to ramp things up. And if he still hasn't gotten better around this point, then the Spurs can move him, and it's a contract that makes it pretty easy to move him, right? Max deals nowadays go for about 60-something million. So I think that him making 29 and down to 27 is more than fair. Even if you look at players around him, I saw someone bring up DeJounte Murray. They were like, well, DeJounte Murray is like a second option behind Zion. And first and foremost, DeJounte Murray was absolutely horrible before the injury. Absolutely horrible. Hold on. So I got 2 points here. I guess I got 3 points. Number one, DeJounte Murray was horrible before the injury. You can see he's shooting 39. He shot 39% from the field. Okay? Under 40. And 29.9% from three. This is before the injury, right? And second point is he's injured. So I don't know why I even compare him to DeJounte or to Devin Vassell. And thirdly, he didn't have Wemby, so you talking about DeJounte Murray? It was a lot of people bringing up because my point was Devin Vassell shouldn't be a second or third option, right? I think that he's more than likely a fourth option. And they were like, well, look at DeJounte Murray. He's a second option. I'm like, well, he's horrible. He shouldn't be a second option either. So those are my points. Number one, he was horrible. Number two, he's injured. And number three, he shouldn't be in that position anyways, right? And then if you look at some other players, like someone brought up Jordan Poole. They were like, well, Jordan Poole makes 29. And keep in mind, these two players are going to be making way more than Devin Vassell in the next couple years. Way more. DeJounte Murray is going up to 33, while Devin Vassell is going down to 27. And then you have Jordan Poole, who's going all the way up to 34, while Devin Vassell is going to 27. So I think that his contract isn't that much of an issue, honestly. Here, Jordan Poole. Let's look up Jordan Poole. Let's look at his stats. And we're looking at efficiency here. All right, so Jordan Poole, while he's scoring 21 points, his efficiency is pretty bad. 41% from the field. 37% from three, which is good. But 41% from the field, which is not good. Another player as well that's really close to his bracket is, who was it that I saw earlier? I think they might have been making more. Or were they making Jeremy Grant? Jeremy Grant's another player. So he's going to be going all the way up to possibly 36 million, right? My only point is Only point is he has a fine contract. All right, Jeremy Grant. Let's look at his stats this season. So in the course of 42 games, he's shooting 37.6% from the field, 37 from three, which is good, but 37.6 from the field, which is horrible. But 14 points. So those are some current players that stand out to me that I think their contracts are worse than Devin. And also I think that you got to keep things contextualized that over the next course of the next few years, this is going to be even a better contract for Devin. And this is a down year. This is a bad year for him. It's just a down year. Everyone has those down years. One player, my favorite player of all time, was mad inconsistent scoring wise. Now he did so much more than what Devin can do. Let's just be real. All right, let's be honest. But he's my favorite player of all time. All right, so you know that I'm not being, biased here. My boy Emmanuel Ginobili. He only had 1 year in which he shot over 50%. But as far as shooting wise, he was mad inconsistent all the time. And he had down years, right? Like you can see even later in his career, he had down years in which, the 2012-2013 season, of course, the 60 games, he shot 42.5%, right? And you could make the argument that Manu Ginobili, especially later in his career, was basically our fourth, go-to option, right? Whatever order you want to put it in, it was probably Duncan, then Kawhi, then Tony, then Manu, wherever, however you want to put it. Maybe a lot of people will put Danny Green in there for 2013. I think Danny Green might have been our fourth option in 2013, honestly. And he was inconsistent. So my only point is when you're a third or fourth option on a team, I don't necessarily think that you have to be like extraordinarily efficient. I think that you can make way with the player. And I'm not just saying we're just settling, right? It's just is what it is. If you're the fourth scoring option on a team, I'm just not expecting you to be the most efficient. I don't expect you to be as efficient as Wemby should be. I'm not expecting you to be as efficient as De'Aaron Fox will be. I just think at the end of the day, he can be a little, inefficient and still be sufficient. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And honestly, the crazy thing about it, because I saw some people trying to call me out about this on Twitter, like saying that, oh, well, you only change your, thoughts on Devin Vassell after this season or whatnot. But that's not necessarily true. I've always felt a little iffy about Devin, right? Even when we drafted him, I thought that at the end of the day, he was just a role player, and he actually blew my expectations out the roof. Last season, he was much better than what I expected. I did not expect that from Devin at all. And now I guess I'm kind of at that point where I'm going back down to where I was previously, where it's like an in-between from where I was, where I said he's just a role player, and when I said, oh my goodness, he's actually really good. I'm kind of in between there now. But yeah, Clan has always been fair when it comes to Vassell. I try, dude. I try. Like, I just don't think that Devin Vassell is like I think the expectations are just too high. I know that was a lot of yapping. I apologize. That was a lot of yapping, but hopefully I got my point across okay. I just think a lot of people expect he's in a position right now where he has to be the second or third option, and I don't expect much out of him having to be that anymore. If he's the fourth, I think this is a crazy great fourth option, like a crazy great fourth option. And as far as his contract is concerned, I don't think it's a bad contract at all, right? Let's just say he stays where he is, which he's going to be better. Like, he's going to be better than this. Like, this is just a down year for him. And even at a down year, he's shooting 35% from three. But it's just a down year. He'll be better. But if you say he's about to make 30 or 27, we're looking at, you see, Miles Bridges, RJ Barrett, Tobias Harris. And we can even look at Miles Bridges' numbers. Actually, hold on. Let's do a player-to-player comparison. just stats wise, right? Let's see. I think it's stat hit. Is it stat hit? Yeah, it's stat hit. All right, let's do a player by player comparison. We'll do Devin Vassell, and then we'll do Miles Bridges. Well, I don't want the whole choose season from each. Choose same season for all. Let's just do we'll just do 2025. That's fine. Yeah. And Devin's 2 years younger than Miles Bridges. All right, so let's get the results. I hate that it looks like that for you guys. Hold on. All right, so left is Devin, right is Miles Bridges. And as you can see, let's see. Yeah, so as far as efficiency wise, Devin's better from 3. Miles Bridges 43%. Devin has more steals. They have about the same blocks. And as far as points, yeah, Miles Bridges is averaging about, what is that, about 4 more points than Devin. Multiple more rebounds for obvious reasons. And then as far as assists, Devin could easily be at that 3.9, which I think, didn't he average that last year? Yeah, he averaged 3.8 and then 3.9 prior. So like he could easily get there. It's just, the Spurs have, more options as far as the point guard position now. So you can see he's not really that far off even from Miles Bridges, really. And if we want to take it a step further, actually, let's see, I haven't looked at this. So this might be, let's see, let's do Devin Vassell and then Miles Bridges. We'll do this year for Devin, and then we'll do, I guess we'll do Miles Bridges. Did Miles Bridges have he was injured last year or a year prior? Because they don't have him for 24, so they have him from 25. Was it? Wait, did I say Miles Bridges last time, or did I do? I did Mikal Bridges, right? What did I do there? Did I do Miles Bridges and Mikal Bridges? I didn't even realize. I did Miles Bridges, right? Yeah, we did Miles Bridges, right? I think we did. He's not Mikal Bridges. Okay, did I say Mikal Bridges? I don't even know what I said. I meant to do Miles Bridges. I think we did Miles Bridges. Okay. I thought, why are we comparing? Only comparing them to other players that's making the same amount of money. But I think I meant to do Mikal's Bridges. Actually, out of curiosity, I want to do Mikal. Mikal's making less. Should we do this year? 7th season? What would this look like? Oh. Get results. Give me my results. I mean, he's not Mikal. Yeah, so before I did Miles Bridges. What did I bring up last time, guys? Both Miles and Mikal's are better than Devin. Wait, but who did I bring up last time? Anyways, so this is Mikal Bridges. And you can see even their stats are quite similar, right? It's quite similar. Just surface level. Obviously, Mikal Bridges is a better player than Devin Vassell, right? Like defensively. But just as far as, people saying inefficiency, inconsistency, I mean, Mikal Bridges his field goal percentage is better. 3-point percentage is about the same. But as far as other numbers, they line up about close to each other, right? Yeah, that's true. Mikal Bridges is definitely better. Like I'm not even trying to say that. I'm just saying I don't think Devin Vassell's contract is that crazy. That's my only point. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. It's not be so hard on Devin. That's my only point. But yes, Mikal Bridges is better than Devin Vassell, obviously. Obviously, he's better than Devin Vassell. But players can have off seasons or down seasons. All right, let's see here. So, take a look at something. I want to take a look at something, then I'm getting out of here, guys. Yes. By the way, I've been playing Stick of Truth again, and oh my god, it's so funny. God, that game is so funny. All right, any San Antonio Spurs stuff? Let's see. You played Rivals today? I played a little bit. I played some quick matches. It was a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, a lot of fun. Post game? Yeah, that's what I'm going to. That was a pre-game. We don't have any post games. I don't want to wait for it either. All right, so let's sum up what I had to say about the Devin Vassell stuff. Okay. Let's sum it up. All right. Okay. All right. So that was good. It was nice that I was able to talk to you guys and get my thoughts out. So now I can try to elaborate the best I possibly can on the Devin Vassell situation. So just sum it all up. This is how I feel. All right. So a lot of people really down on him, really saying that he's bad, he's trash, trade him right now, get rid of him. Got a few thoughts on it. Number one, you're not going to get equal value just straight up. Anybody in the league right now, you're not going to get straight up equal value for Devin Vassell. You can say that we can trade him and try to get some more picks. The Spurs have a lot of picks right now, and I would rather hold on to all the picks we have right now, keep Devin Vassell, and kind of see how it turns out in the future. A lot of people saying that his contract is horrible and that he's making $29 million. That's so much money. Not really. The San Antonio Spurs made sure to give him $29 million this year, where nothing really matters that much, and then it's a diminishing contract in which a lot of the other people that I've seen, people on Twitter try to compare him to, contracts are going to be much worse. DeJounte Murray's coming off of an injury, and he's about to make $31 and then $33 million, while Devin Vassell is about to make $27 and eventually $24. Also, I just don't think, as far as my expectations for Devin, I don't think that Devin Vassell is a first, second, or third option, more than likely. More than likely, he's a fourth option. And in my opinion, if you're a fourth option, I think that you can afford to be pretty inconsistent. And not only that, you're going to be even more inconsistent, and it's going to be even more in your face when you have to be put in a position where you have to be a second or first option on a team. So that's the position that Devin's in right now, where he's going to be a second option. He's in a down year, and even in the down year, he's still shooting 35% from three. I'm just not that down on him. I think he's a decent defender. I think that he still has high basketball IQ. I think that he has shown some clutch moments throughout the year. But as far as field goal percentage, obviously it's down. But if you look at some of his peers that are making the exact same amount of money, like obviously the Celtics are getting more value out of Porzingis than maybe the Spurs are getting out of Devin this year. But you can look at some of the other players, right? DeJounte Murray was horrible before his injury, right? Really horrible. Like 30. We took a look at it. Hold on. What was it? DeJounte Murray was like 39% before the injury. Oh, it's right on Google. Cool. Yeah, here we go. 39%, 29 from three before injury, and also he's injured. So there you go. Like, yeah, you're definitely not getting value out of DeJounte Murray right now. Jordan Poole, same thing. Efficiency-wise, pretty horrible. I think he's like at 41%, I believe. Some other players that, that's making the same amount, if not more. You see Jeremy Grant making slightly more, and he's shooting like 39%. 37% from the field. So, some of his peers, I definitely think that he's worth the money right now with this year. And he's in a down year, and that's totally fine. And as the years go on, and the Spurs are in the playoffs, they're making runs, he'll be making less, and I think he would more likely be like a fourth option. But even if I really think that a lot of this comes down, and I think it's pretty fair for the most part, but a lot of this just comes down to, are we in the W column, right? Because if the Spurs had a lot of talent, and Devin Vassell was still inconsistent, we wouldn't even notice. Right? Like we wouldn't even care. My favorite player of all time, as far as scoring wise, Manu Ginobili, was inconsistent. Offensively, he was inconsistent. Now, he brought so many other things to the table, right? He was a phenomenal passer, super high basketball IQ, good defender, but he was inconsistent. One year in which he was over 50%. He had down years. I mean, this is later in his career. He was 39% one of those years, but he had down years, 43%, 43%, but we can still recognize how good he was for the team. And it kind of goes down to a lot of players. If you say Manu wasn't the fourth option at some point, I think we all would agree that Danny Green at one point was the fourth option. And Danny Green, and he's nowhere near as good as Manu's. Okay, Devin Vassell is nowhere near as good as Manu. But Danny Green was a player where he was inconsistent offensively, right? He wasn't the best offensively all the time. So I just think that you can afford to have Devin be inconsistent if we just kind of change the way that we view him a little bit. I was pretty down on him early in his career, right? I thought that he's just a role player. Maybe he's a 3-and-D, but he's just kind of a role player, catch and shoot shooter. That's all I think he is. And then last season, he proved me wrong. I was like, whoa, you can be way more than that. But now I've kind of calmed down a little bit, and now I'm meeting my past self equal way, halfway there, right? So before, where I was like, just a catch and shoot player, and then I went to, whoa, he's really good. Now I'm like in between, and in between to me is a fourth option. And I think if we see it that way, and we see it as, hey, he's not going to be the second option, he's not going to be the third option, his performances that he's been giving us, is this suitable? Is this acceptable for somebody who's a fourth option? And I think it is. I think this is acceptable. I truly do. I think his defense is good enough. I think his passing ability is good enough. I think his IQ is good enough. And I think shooting wise, we can afford these type of numbers if we have a better team, right? And once again, it's a down year. So, yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I think I summed it up pretty well, what we were talking about before. But you compare him to his peers, it's not that crazy, right? It's not that crazy. Some players playing better than him. A lot of players aren't. His contract is fine. I think that is more than fair, especially when Supermax contracts are getting into the 60s, right? They're about to get into the 60s. So I think it's fair. Totally fair. Devin's contract is solid. I think so too. I think it's a solid contract. I don't think it's bad whatsoever. Let's see. Clan, I'm looking at Chris here. Clan, you too gracious on Devin, but I get it. I'm just not, when it comes, like when you guys see I'm pretty harsh on Keldon, it's one of those things where it seems like Keldon is at his best when the Spurs can just say, Keldon, go get us a bucket, right? But when he's actually within the system, it looks pretty ugly. But I've seen so many moments with Devin Vassell where he fits right in, or he plays extraordinarily well, even when he had to be the second option, even though I don't think that he's a second option on a championship team. But he's done really well, and he's blended into what our offense needs. And a lot of times with Keldon, I don't like the fact that he only looks great when we don't have an option at all, right? When he's actually within the system, he doesn't look that great. He doesn't pan out that well. And even in these games where he's played really well, I just don't think there's a lot of high basketball IQ going on, you know? I know that sounds pretty bad, you know, to say, but it's just the truth. And I don't think that there's anything that Keldon does offensively that makes up for how bad his defense is. If you understand what I'm saying. His defense is so bad, and there's nothing that really makes up for it. It's still the same tunnel vision. It's just that sometimes it pans out. But a lot of times in these games, it will pan out until it doesn't. Like, a lot of teams will kind of sit back and say, if Keldon Johnson is beating us, we're good, you know? And it was the same thing during our tanking year where Keldon looked good offensively, right? Like, he was able to attack. He got plenty of points on the board, but we weren't winning. And the reason why we weren't winning is because a lot of times in those games, when we got to the fourth quarter, sometimes even just the second half, teams would adjust and he wouldn't adjust what he does, right? He would still just be clobbering into the paint. So I don't know. I don't like you only looking good offensively when we don't have Wemby. And when we do have Wemby, yeah. So he's inconsistent offensively, consistently bad defensively. Whereas with Devin, I feel like defensively, pretty consistent. He's not a point of attack defender. He's not a lockdown defender, but he's pretty consistent defensively, pretty consistent basketball IQ wise, right? He makes good reads, a little sloppy this last game, but he makes good reads for the most part. You know, takes ideal shots for what the defense is giving him. Right now we just have inconsistency as far as aggression and shooting, but that's who Devin Vassell is, right? We're going to have lack of aggression. But yeah. Spurs defense needs to be better. Oh, we're not going to see much of that this season because we don't really have a true center, you know? You know what I mean? Frosty, claim we giving Keldon too much time to improve. Keldon holding us back. Keldon does Keldon only. 6 seasons is a long time. I don't think Keldon is a selfish player at all, right? I don't think that you're alluding to that. It's just who he is. He's played like this since he was in college. But I don't think he's a selfish player. I think he's a phenomenal leader as far as like a locker room guy. I think that he brings a certain amount of energy. But when you're at home and, you know, you don't really have much other options, he looks good. But Keldon's still strong. He is strong. He's still big body. Anyways, this wasn't supposed to be about Keldon. I guess I'm just trying to let you know why I feel a little bit differently on the whole trade Devin Vassell thing that people are on right now. I think expectations are a little too high, and I see all of the talent, and I see how Devin Vassell could fit into our offense seamlessly. Honestly, we just need more talent. You know, we just need more talent. But I've seen him fit in just fine. We've had lots of great Devin Vassell moments and flashes, and not flashes as in Lonnie Walker flashes, where you see a flash in a game, and then we go like several weeks, and then you see another one. I feel like with Devin Vassell, we get one every other game. Every other game. I think it'd be fine. We just need more. We just need more talent. Now, if it doesn't pan out, and you know he doesn't fit, and he's the fourth option, then sure, I'm with you, right? But thus far throughout his career, I feel like now we're starting to realize he's in a position that he just probably isn't made for right now. You know, he shouldn't have to be the second or third option, more than likely. It's probably more of a fourth. And I think he's a phenomenal fourth option. Yeah. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Devin. Not too harsh on him. I just don't feel like venomous towards him like a lot of fans feel. But I do understand like the frustration. But maybe if we shift our mindset a little bit and say, hey, Devin's in a position where we're asking him to be the second option right now, and he's just not that. We're gonna get some performances at the, as the season winds down. We're gonna get some performances that he looks great, but I'm gonna be pretty consistent on this. I don't think he's a second option. I don't even know if he's a third option. I think he's a fourth. And then Keldon, we're gonna have plenty of performances where he looks good, right? But it's not gonna be conducive to winning, because teams going to adjust late in the fourth, or just the fourth quarter, or the second half. It always happens every single game. And yeah, I mean, it's just not pretty offense. It's not good offense. So yeah, it's flash in the pan. It's good. It's good when you're at home too. It's really nice when you're at home. Anyways. Steph Castle needed to get into the third quarter earlier than he did today. Spurs not challenging the play today. Mitch Johnson needs to be better. I'll be honest, very confusing how you do what you're supposed to do, right? And then you just do the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do. And what I mean by that is, okay, you played Sohan. Let me see here. All right, so you play Sohan 28 minutes. You should do that, right? Like, as far as how good of a defender he is, sure, he should get his minutes. But then why did his minutes jeopardize Steph Castle's minutes? Like, why would Steph Castle not get minutes? I don't understand that, man. I don't understand how Julian Champagnie gets more minutes than Steph Castle. And I know he was struggling a little bit, but like, what are we doing, bro? I don't get that. I don't know. That bothered me. That definitely bothered me. It's like, okay, we're gonna get Sohan his minutes, but instead of taking away Chris Paul's minutes, we take away Castle's minutes. Don't get it. Don't quite understand that. The players that should be playing right now should be Castle, like undoubtedly should be getting a lot of the minutes. Castle, Keldon, Sohan, Devin Vassell, Fox, Biyombo, and do what you will with the rest. Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul, they both need some minutes, but I won't be breaking my back up, for it. I just don't understand that. I don't understand Sohan getting his minutes and then you not playing Steph Castle. Because at the end of the day, these two, like it or not, are our best perimeter defenders. And not even our best perimeter defenders. We looked at statistics here. They are two of some of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, period. Why would you take away Steph Castle's minutes? What's the point? Don't do that. Stop that. Knock it off. They should play. We're already struggling defensively. These two should play a lot of minutes. They should play a lot. They should play a whole lot. Starting Castle is a bad idea from a strategic standpoint analytically. You don't even have to start him. You should start Sohan. You start Sohan, take Chris Paul out of the starting lineup, period. You need at least one player in the starting lineup that's a good perimeter defender or excellent perimeter defender. Whether it be Castle or whether it be Sohan, set the tone early. One of those guys should play. One of those guys should start. This starting lineup, who are you stopping, bro? Like, seriously, who are you stopping with this starting lineup? The Pistons started off on a run, mind you, in this game. I think they started off like 11-2 or something. They went on an 11-2 run. Set the tone early. Sit Chris Paul, start Sohan. Or sit Chris Paul, start Castle. Don't understand it. We have too many non-shooters on this team. It's nothing we can do about that. The only thing we can do right now, well, I guess it is something we can do about that. We could play Malachi more. But the only thing that the Spurs can do is play what you got. Lean on what you do best. And you have some of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Play them. Don't quite understand it. It would make the most sense to start Sohan, move Harrison Barnes to small forward, and start Sohan at power forward. I think that would be nice. And by the way, Sohan's been good shooting-wise, 3-point shooting-wise. He's been pretty reliable. When he gets the open shot, he's been pretty reliable. Yeah, 34%, nearly 35% for the year. Doesn't take a lot, but he's been reliable. And we know last year when he does take more, he was around 31%. Not good, but not horrible. You can stretch the floor a little bit. Anyways, again, I'm late, but why was Castle limited minutes? The only explanation I have, honestly, is because Sohan played more, but Sohan should not eat into Castle's minutes. Castle should definitely play more than Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the only focal leader on the team. That's fine. He can be a focal leader. I'm not saying Chris Paul shouldn't play. I'm not saying Chris Paul should get like 10 minutes in the game, but dang, we can distribute this a little bit better. Baseline, Steph Castle shouldn't play 13 minutes. Baseline, he should play more than that. That's all I'm saying. Anyways. It's situational. Most buckets were in the middle. Castle isn't more valuable than Sohan in the post. Is it true that Chris Paul is retiring after this season? I didn't hear about this. I guess it's possible. This is definitely possible. I don't know. I didn't hear about that. Clan, do you think we beat the Pelicans on Sunday? We're better than the Pelicans, even without Wemby. I think we should. We should clone Sohan and run a 5 Sohan lineup. That works. That would be a nasty defensive team, I'll tell you that much. That would be a lot to deal with. It's too late to properly tank. We should just focus on developing the young core more. I don't think the Spurs are in a tank. Okay, I think the chips are going to lay where they lie. Lie where they lie? Lay where they lie? Anyways, we're 12th seed right now. We're going to be 12th seed when the season's over. More than likely. I think we still go like 500-ish for the rest of the season. Maybe slightly below. We are tanking. Yeah, I don't know. At first I felt like it, then I didn't, then I felt like it, now I don't again. I just think the Spurs are trying. Mitch Johnson is very confusing though. I will say that. He confuses me. we don't have to properly tank to lose right now? Yeah. I just feel like a lot of times when we say tank, it just makes us feel better. Like, let's just be honest though, man. Like Cloudy? Is that Cloudy? Like Cloudy said, like, do the Spurs actually have to tank to lose? I mean, let's just be honest. Like, do they have to? Do we need an extra push to lose? I think we're just going to naturally lose some of these. I think it's going to be slightly below 500, and we'll still end up being the 12th seed. That's what I think is going to happen. So I think we're going to have some good moments, some bad moments. But let's just cheer for the Atlanta Hawks to lose. That's what I care about. But I saw somebody post, like, call me crazy, but I still think the Spurs are going to make the playoffs. It's like, yeah, you're crazy. 45 wins? Nah, I'm off my 44, okay? I think that it's fair for me to go off my 44 after that injury. I think that's fair. That's not something I was expecting. I could very well see the Spurs in the next, like, 10 games sitting De'Aaron Fox. I could see the Spurs just straight up saying, you know what? Screw this. Go get the surgery on your hand. Call it a season. And we go about our business, right? But I think he still needs a few more games with the team before they can do that. But I can see that happening. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Did you see that happen? Yeah, I agree. Shut down Fox. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know if it happens like soon. Like I said, I think maybe like 10 games. Maybe 10 more games. I didn't hear anything on this, by the way. This is just my guess. Castle gets real minutes. That would be nice. What the F do you do? I feel like Tom Hanks in Castaway. What do you mean? So can you actually play Castle because they clearly don't want to? I guess you can. I just don't understand. Well, I guess I do understand. I think it all really comes down to the fact that they want Chris Paul to get his minutes. But I think that's silly. I personally think that's silly, but it is what it is, I suppose. Prayers for Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, he'll be all right, man. We heard good things. He'll be okay. Like we just wrecked by the universe or something. We're fine. We're fine. We're okay. Things aren't hopeless. Like we literally, they got on the illness early. We have a superstar talent. Like we're good, bro. Spurs are fine. Could be way worse. Look at some of the other franchises around the league. It could be way worse. We got it good. Yeah, we're good. It's a rebuild for a reason, you know? I saw some people say, like, well, the rebuild is kind of over now. And I'm like, not really. Not even close, honestly. Well, it's kind of close to being over, but. Oh, thanks for the super chat, man. Clan, I was at the game tonight in Austin and I saw Chris Bosh. Coincidence? Did you for real? What was Chris Bosh doing there? What was he doing there? He's from Texas? Oh. Yep, Chris Bosh was there. Oh, no correlation. Oh, okay. I didn't know where Chris Bosh was from. He was rooting for East. He was rooting for the Pistons. Oh. Why? Saw them hugged up post game. Yeah. Bench Vassell. Vassell got benched at the beginning of the third, I think. Ooh. Gotta change these upload defaults. All right, guys, I'm about to hop off because your boy gonna play some rivals tonight. Do we have any cap space this summer? These Spurs got a lot of cap space, don't they, guys? I should have brought this up. There was another thought that I had about the whole Devin Vassell thing. Another thought I had about the Devin Vassell thing is a lot of people too, like when it comes to like our players, is right now, because things aren't panning out and we're losing, we're very quick to say, I don't want this player, get rid of this player, ship him out or whatever, right? But like I find it very funny because so many people have fond memories of specific players that did way less and were way less talented than some of the players that the fan base at this point wants to get rid of. Does that make sense? Like, for instance, I've seen so many people say, hey, why don't we try to go get Jonathan Simmons back? Jonathan Simmons gets a lot of praise. He's nowhere near as talented as Devin Vassell. Like, not even close of his talent level. Or people will say, like, oh, man, I really miss Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph didn't do much for the team, really. But then Trey Jones, he gets shipped out and no one said a word about it. But Trey Jones, I think, is a better player than Corey Joseph. Like, I think it really just comes down to if you're on a winning team or not. Because I guarantee you if Devin Vassell was on that team, you know, when we're talking like 2017, 2018 with Jonathan Simmons, everybody will be saying, I wish Devin was back. Right? That's just how I feel. That's how I feel about it. Like, I think it really just comes down to, I mean, like I said, and guys, this is just, I don't care. I don't care if this is controversial or not, but I'll say it again. Jeremy Sohan is a more talented player than Bruce Bowen. He is. But that's blasphemy because Bruce Bowen was, you know, on a winning team. He was great. He was awesome for us, right? Like, people say Spurs legend. Sure, I'm with you. I agree. But statistic-wise, people said that he was like a monster for us. He was incredible. Statistically, it's not that impressive, you know? But, like, people are willing to see the nuance with a Bruce Bowen, but not willing to see the nuance with a Sohan. Even though I think Sohan is genuinely a more talented player than Bruce Bowen. And I think that Devin Vassell is the best shooting guard we've had since Manu Ginobili. You know? But yeah. Mitch postgame? I do not want to watch a Mitch postgame. I'll be completely 100 with you. Maybe next time. Maybe Sunday night. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's what I gather from the fan base. Is like a lot of times, you know, we have these fond memories of players, and they were great for what that team needed, but then we just completely overhyped them compared to some of the players we have right now, right? Devin Vassell is very talented, But if you bring up any player from when we were winning, people would take them over them. I wouldn't be surprised if I could catch some people. If I said, would you rather have Aaron Baines or Devin Vassell? I wouldn't be surprised if we had at least a handful of people say Aaron Baines, only because we were winning at the time. But if I did a poll and said Jonathan Simmons or Devin Vassell, I bet you it would be at least a few people that prefer Jonathan Simmons over Devin, because they would say, oh, he played hard. He got dunks, you know? Yeah, I really like Kyle Anderson. But, like, yeah, Kyle Anderson will be one. Like, I think Devin Vassell is a better overall player than Kyle Anderson. I do think Kyle Anderson's a better leader, though. Do it? They'd be silly? Well, I won't do it on this channel. We can do it on Twitter. Let's see. Let's see how we do this. Let's make a post. Oh my goodness. This better be a lie. Dez Bryant has a terrible man. This isn't real. Dez Bryant man. This better be fake, bro. Just like check and see if it's fake. All right, let's do. We'll do a day. I'm keeping it as neutral as possible, right? Look good? Centel? Yeah, it's not real. Okay. So we'll do a whole day. Good. All right, let's see what happens. I don't know if we can really do any live. I do want to see where it goes, though. Like, at least in the next few minutes. Somebody will see it. All right, one vote said Devin Vassell. If I'm wrong here, I'm wrong. I've also blocked a lot of people that have terrible takes, so. Dev is clearly a better athlete shooter than Simmons, but not as aggressive. Actually, I think that's fair to say. But, like, I do not care. If I had to choose between the two, I'll choose the one that's least aggressive and, like, way more talented. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Someone said our coach back? What they mean? Huh? Why did that person say our coach is back?
Yeah, I thought after this game, not watching the tape, I do think their hands to have a little bit more volume at times. Just continue being great. Our guys have been great in every way. But in the first half we were up big tonight. We played some. Third quarter definitely got away from us.
Coach, second game of a back-to-back.
Why did they say our coach is back? All right, I don't think we heard anything, right? Okay. All right. Oh, okay. In the facility, not on the bench. Okay. Not coaching, just in the building. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's good. Just seen driving to facility. Comes back, that's playoffs. Pop comes back, that's playoffs. Kind of funny because everybody was saying, hey, fire Pop. And now they're like, hey, actually, I kind of miss Pop. Like, yeah, he's still one of the greatest coaches in the NBA. Period. You know? Everybody just has this what have you done for me lately attitude. And it's toxic, man. Don't be so toxic, all right? Don't be one of those people that are toxic. That's why I'm not super reactionary on anything. That's outside of basketball, too, or sports. Like, I'm not super reactionary with anything. I try to see and, like, understand it a little bit better. But when you put things in perspective, if I say Devin Vassell is having a down year, and I said I think he's more than likely a fourth option on the team, and then I say, well, you would rather have a Jonathan Simmons when Jonathan Simmons was not that talented. Guys, don't you guys vote, okay? The people that are in this chat, don't you vote and skewer anything, okay? Like, unless you actually want to. I guess you can if you want to, but like, if you're not already following me on Twitter, don't jump on there and vote, okay? Let's just let the masses do this. Like, you guys cannot be serious. They cannot be serious, bro. You see what I'm saying? LOL. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. Why would you rather have Jonathan Simmons over Devin Vassell? 40%? 30% now. Wait a minute. No. No. That's not right. There we go. Guys. That's crazy. This is what I'm talking about. You guys see what I'm saying? Simmons easy. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Hold on. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Dude, I'm going off when this poll is like over. I'm going off on all these people. Guys, this is what I'm saying. Look, this is what I'm talking about. His last season with the Spurs, 6 points, 42% from the field, 29% from three, 6 points. 6 points. Six. Chat. In what world is Jonathan Simmons better than Devin Vassell? In what world should we take Jonathan Simmons over Devin Vassell? The only difference is the Spurs won. They were winning. They just so happened to be winning. I got news for you, okay? If Jonathan Simmons wasn't on that team, the Spurs still won. They still get to the Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry. He's the juice. I like Jonathan Simmons. Like, he definitely has the best dunk in Spurs history, I think. Not contextually best dunk, but like most impressive looking dunk against the Trailblazers. That was a nasty dunk. Who is Jonathan Simmons? Exactly. I've been watching the Spurs since 2020. This is Jonathan Simmons. He was a player that was on the Spurs team. We were doing fairly well. He only played for a couple seasons. He played very aggressive. He had some very iconic dunks, right? Super athletic. Some good defensive plays at times, right? He would get a block here or there that would be impressive. But overall, he couldn't really create his own shot that well. He wasn't a good outside shooter. He was basically just a downhill drive guard. And he lasted, as you can see, just a few years in the NBA. He wasn't in the NBA that long. This is insane. But this is what I mean. it all comes down to a feeling. It comes down to that feeling of, well, we were winning, and he had that really cool dunk that time. There is no world in which you take Jonathan Simmons over Devin Vassell. I'm glad that I posted it neutral like this. Good guy, bro. I'm glad that I put it neutral like this. So no one would be swayed. So the people on Twitter wouldn't be swayed. But this is asinine. This is insane. This is dumb. He tried out as civilian pretty good. I think he plays in China now. Clay and I would take Primo. Come on, that's delusional. This is delusional. To take Jonathan Simmons over Devin, that's delusional. He was already like, yeah, that's another thing. I forgot about that. He was already like 28. Hold on. Yeah, how old? Does it have it on here? Hold on. I think you'll see it if you go to Basketball Reference. Yeah, I think he was already like 20. Let's see. Yeah, he was 27, bro. It's all emotional because of his $150 G League story. It's the story. It's the dunks. It's that they went to the Western Conference Finals. The only thing I hate about posing it neutral like this is some people might think that like I'm actually considering it. Like, who would I rather have? Like, I'm considering it. Like, no, I'm not considering this. This is dumb. This is a dumb question. I'm going off after this. What? Same player basically, except Vassell is making about 25 million more. Guys, Devin Vassell and Jonathan Simmons are the same player. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. You need to change your expectations for Devin a little bit. All right, this is crazy. Clan, didn't you just say you aren't reactionary? I'm not being reactionary by reacting to stupid reactionary takes. No, this is emotional. This is just emotional bias. Like, what is this? There's no world this should be 50%. This should be overwhelmingly 100% to 0. No one should take Jonathan Simmons over Devin Vassell just because he played hard. Stop it. Because he had some cool dunks. Clan, you ain't getting no sleep tonight. This disappointed me. I'm disappointed. What about Jonathan Simmons versus Keldon Johnson? I take Keldon Johnson easily over Jonathan Simmons. Are you joking? You're kidding, right? Like, I would take Keldon Johnson over Jonathan Simmons easily. Keldon Johnson is a better player than Jonathan Simmons. Easily. I'm just as disappointed. This is sad, bro. They're like genuinely sad. It's 83 people. I think it made it to 100 though. Oh, they keep jumping back and forth. KJ over Simmons? Easily Keldon Johnson over Jonathan Simmons. He's a much better player than Jonathan Simmons. Yeah, I mean, saying that they're basically the same player. I mean, you could say that what Jonathan Simmons tried to do was what Keldon does, and Keldon just does it way better. I would take Keldon easily. He also has way more trade value than what you could get out of a Jonathan Simmons at that time. Can't get anything out of a Jonathan Simmons. Not really. Stat sheet, stats, intangibles, Keldon and Devin. Easily. This is all emotion. This is all Devin isn't playing that well. Jonathan Simmons had heart and he dunked. I would take Jonathan Simmons in a pickup maybe. Yeah, I'll take him in a pickup game. How old was Simmons when he came to the Spurs? He was 26. Dude, guys. Nah. I don't want to give my why the F is this a question? Yeah. And it's a question because I'm trying to make a point. I'm having fun with this. It's crazy, bro. Try to keep it neutral. There's no world this should be a thing. I guess it comes down to who do you see bringing more value to the team at hand. I think it comes down to being right and come down to being wrong. And taking Jonathan Simmons in any context over Devin Vassell is asinine. Jonathan Simmons does have some sick highlights, though. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. That is true. All right. So, guys, this is what it comes down to. This is how bad the Devin Vassell hate train has become. Everything is emotional. For anyone to take Jonathan Simmons over Devin Vassell in any context, I think is insane. It all comes down to, oh, Simmons dunked sometimes. You know, he had some cool dunks. And the Spurs were winning at the time. So I would take Simmons over Devin Vassell. There is no world in which you should take Jonathan Simmons over Devin Vassell or Keldon Johnson. No world whatsoever. This is crazy. You can go down, like I said, Jonathan Simmons' stats, bro. His last year with the Spurs, he shot a worse percentage overall than Devin Vassell. He shot worse three-point, and this is a down Devin Vassell year, mind you. A worse three-point percentage. He was 29%, and he has 6 points. 6 points. All this comes down to the emotions that people felt at the time. We went to the Western Conference Finals. People remember him playing hard, playing his best, playing tough or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it comes down to talent. If anybody, this is why I think the Devin Vassell hate train is just too much. I just posted this. We're already at 118 votes. This isn't going to change in the next 23 hours. It's going to be 50-50. There should be no 50-50. Devin Vassell over Jonathan Simmons. We do this with so many different players, bro. Trey Jones is gone. He's gone. No one really cared. But people still tell you how great Corey Joseph was. Right? They still tell you how great Corey Joseph was. Do the same thing with all the players. Bruce Bowen, Spurs legend, easily. Sure, I agree. But then they will say, like, oh, he's so much more talented than some of the other players that we have. He's not more talented than Sohan. He's just not. He wasn't more talented than Sohan. That's revisionist. That's revisionist history. That's just you thinking back on the fond memories and that we were winning, and you think that player was better, and that's not necessarily true, right? I mean, you can look at the stats of lots of players from when we were winning. They were great for that team. They were great for those teams. But if you take them out of those games and you separate them from those games and you put them in modern day, you will want them traded too. You really want me to believe Thiago Splitter would be beloved by Spurs fans on this team? Get out of here. They'll want him traded. Just nostalgia from the good old days. It's nothing but nostalgia. There should be no reason in any context in which Jonathan Simmons should get as much love as Devin Vassell. No context. This is actually quite insulting. Try my best to keep it neutral, right? I didn't want anybody to change their vote based on it, but just wanted to show something. This is crazy. This is actually crazy. No context, this should be a thing. On guy, everybody wilding out now. This is how it is, man. You have a down year, and even in his worst year, he's better than Jonathan Simmons. Jonathan Simmons lasted a few years in the NBA. You really want me to believe that he just got a bad shake? That's all it was. It was just a bad shake. People just hooked to the story. You know, he had a very inspirational story, but he lasted a few years in the NBA, and I don't think he lasted 4 years in the NBA just because the world was against him. Clan is comparing stats and talent, while poll votes comparing hearts and efforts. What good is your heart and effort when it gets you 42% and 29% from three? Who cares? First off, I think Devin Vassell does show a lot of effort. That's number one. Okay, I do think that. And also, he's just way more talented. Clan, you can't compare statistics, Clan. You can't compare talent. What about the heart? Who cares about the heart? What do you mean? Who cares? Does it matter? Does it matter? No one cares. And Devin Vassell is much younger. Devin Vassell's 24. This was Jonathan Simmons' stats when he was 27. Simmons or Bryn Forbes? Well, I think people should probably choose Simmons based on some of the Bryn Forbes allegations. Yes, heart of a champion. Heart of a champion. Oh, thank God he had that heart of a champion. That really got us far. Thank God he had. All it comes down to is the Spurs were a winning team, and he happened to be on that squad. Was he competitive? Sure. Did he play hard? Sure. Did I like him? Sure. But I mean, we have comments here talking about how they're basically the same player, but one makes less money. Are we serious? Vassell is not the same player as Jonathan Simmons. Not even close. They don't play the same way at all. Patty Mills or Vassell? Ooh, you just hit me in the heartstrings a little bit. Ooh, you hit me in the heartstrings a little bit. Why you do that? You shouldn't do that. Vassell overall is a better player than Patty Mills. I know, but he is. He's a better player than Patty Mills. Ian, what is your argument? He said, what the F argument is this? This is absurd. Wait, I don't know if you're talking. Oh, wait, you might be talking about this person. That they're the same player basically, but one makes less. That is an absurd argument. They are not the same player at all. I hate that you guys made me like do Patty or Devin. Why'd you do that? Devin's more talented than Patty Mills. Devin Vassell is the most talented shooting guard we've had since Manu Ginobili. Why'd y'all do that? Why would you do that? I love Patty. Why'd you do that? It's funny how some fans act like it's the end of the world on a wash season. Yeah, for real. You with Patty? Patty was a monster. He was a monster. I'm gonna go with Devin though. Clan, how dare you undermine Patty? That's a disgrace. Vassell isn't better than Patty Mills. Yeah, I think he is. The Simmons thing? I don't know what you're saying. I asked what you thought was an absurd argument, and then you just said the Simmons thing. Like I don't know. I don't know if you're referring to me, you're referring to this person. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. There's no world in which you take. At least with Patty, I can see the argument because Patty had a lot of moments where he would just go off, right? A lot of moments where he'd go off, and he was he was a pretty consistent 3-point shooter, right, for what he was. But Patty Mills isn't capable. Patty Mills throughout his career isn't capable of putting up the same numbers that Vassell is. Oh, hold on. Let's see. What was his best year with us? 11.6, 38%. Yeah, his 3-point percentage was crazy, man. He was so consistent from 3. He was so consistent from 3. It's really good from 3. Anyways, no, I would still take Devin over Patty Mills. Even though I love Patty. All right. You guys shouldn't have done that. I don't know why you did that. At least with the Patty one, I kind of understand it a little bit. Right? A lot of clutch moments. Consistently with us. Always reliable. For the most part. Played good defensively. Played with a lot of effort. Played with a lot of heart. I get all of it. All of it makes sense with him. Sorry, Simmons doesn't. That makes no sense. If you guys want to argue me about Patty, that's fine. But I would take Vassell. Sadly, I think Vassell is used to losing since the tanking day. Let's not think too hard about this. All right, let's not think too hard about this. I mean, do we just go ahead and say that about everybody? Wemby is used to losing. Keldon is used to losing. I don't think they're used to losing. This is what it is. Simmons was a flash in the pan for us. Simmons was just a flash in the pan in general. All right. Looked like the percentage getting a little bit better, but I wonder if some of the chat members are jumping on here to try to help it out. I don't know. Anyways, point still stands. This is ridiculous. The Patty thing, obviously, we could argue about that, and I don't even want to push back on anybody that says they would rather take Patty because Patty was great. He was awesome. Genuinely was great. But I do think Vassell's capable of being better than Patty Mills, Devin is tradable. Devin is tradable right now. Okay. I never said he wasn't. I never said Devin Vassell wasn't tradable. Funny thing about it is Jonathan Simmons wasn't tradable at all because he had no value. That might be mean to say, but it just is what it is. Yeah, Patty makes sense, but Simmons does not. Oh, okay, Ian. So you were agreeing with me this whole time. Okay. Yeah, I was like, dude, I can't tell if you're agreeing or not. You can't just put in the chat, what is this argument? While in the middle of me making an argument. I don't know. Simmons, what the F? I would even take a Jackson argument over Simmons. Oh, Steven Jackson. Dude, yes, Jackson. Yes. Captain Jack over Simmons. Yes. This is all. My only point is it's all emotional. This hate for Devin is just too much. It's too wild. People will go to the numbers and say, well, look how much he's making. Oh, wait. Okay, I don't know. They would say how much he's making and then compare other players to him that's making the same, not bringing up the fact that he's on a diminishing contract, not bringing up the fact that other players that are making the same, like Jamari Grant is having a worse year than him, or DeJounte Murray was having a worse year than him before he got injured and he can't even play, so why are we even bringing him up? And other players that also are making similar amount that he is, but having worse numbers. They will not bring that up. They would just say, Devin Vassell sucks. He's trash. He's garbage. Get him off my team. And I would rather take Jonathan Simmons. If I just show somebody these stats and then showed a stat with Devin Vassell's stats this year on his worst year or one of his worst years, and I just compared the two and I said, hey, who would you rather take? No one's taking this. No one's going to look at this and say, well, he had effort. He had effort. He worked hard. He worked hard, man, for that 29% from three. I ain't gonna take that. People are harsh though. And honestly, the reason why I can bring up stats with these two is because it's not even really nuance. There's no nuance here. There's nothing that I think Jonathan Simmons brought to the table that doesn't show up in the stats. I truly do believe that. Intangibles are huge. I think Devin Vassell shows the same amount of effort. I don't think there's anything separating the two as far as like this is one thing that Jonathan Simmons did better over Devin. I don't think so. Anyways, Clan, how much would you wait for Devin? And if he doesn't recover his best version, just wait a couple years, honestly. I mean, look, he's about to make $24 million next couple years. Like, I think that at the end of the day, Devin is like a fourth option on a team, which fourth options can afford to be a little inconsistent sometimes offensively. Just wait a couple years when we get more talent. And if he doesn't fit as that fourth option and he's still not panning out and he's a sore thumb, which I don't think he will be, but if he is, then maybe it's time to cut ties. And you'll be able to because his contract is great. Danny Green or Vassell? Danny, probably. Maybe Danny. Because Danny's defense was really good. It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. And I might need some time on that one. Because I think offensive-wise, Vassell is more talented than Danny Green. But Danny Green is like the ultimate role player, you know? And like when I start saying you're going to be the fourth option that we go to, you're probably in a role player, more so role player role. Man, he was the ultimate role player. Danny was more consistent. No, Danny Green was inconsistent. All right, just don't get it twisted. He was very inconsistent. So, anyways, in this segment, we're uploading that segment. This is terrible. Wow. All right, I'm going to sleep. Or no, I'm not going to sleep. I'm lying. I'm about to get on Rivals, and then I'm going to sleep. I'll get with you guys later. Everyone have a great night. I'll see you on Sunday, I think. More than likely, I'll see you on Sunday. I might have to drive my girlfriend back home on Sunday. She's cool about it. We'll probably do it on Monday. Talk to you guys soon. Everyone have a good night. Good night, everybody. Sayonara. Sayonara.